Shalom Aleichem. Pesach Taf Shin Hey Daled. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask. We've got five questions. And we'll Bezrat Hashem answer them all. Okay. Number one. What's with Mah Nishtanah? We don't even answer the questions particularly. Yeah. And by the way, I found out that Benjamin is actually called Boch. So Shalom Boch. He's just in time. First question. What's with Mah Nishtanah? Yeah, Mah Nishtanah, firstly, we hardly answer the question. We don't answer the dipping question bichlal. And the other three questions, we kind of quasi-answer over the hemshech of the entire thing, of the entire Seder, and the youngest kid as well. Okay, number two, why do we break the middle matzah? Number three, why do kids learn in a cheder? What's the meaning of calling the place where children or boys learn a cheder, a room? What's up with that? And why do tatis learn in a base medrash? Kids learn in a cheder, and tatis learn in a bias. What's up with that? Okay, what's the inyan of Reish Lakish's comment in the Gemara when he says that the what is it? Reish Lakish b'shum Rabbi Yehuda Nasir Eina oilam iskayim ele b'shvil hevel tinoikesh or beis rabon. That the only reason why the world is miskayim is because of the breath of the kids in the Chadarim. This is beis rabon. And then finally, there's a minhag for those of you who are prepared enough to burn the lulav in the beer chometz. I don't know if it's like usually you just watch the neighbor do it because you forgot to keep the lulav or you can't find it. But there is a minhag. There's a minhag to dafka take the lulav to the beer chometz and to burn the lulav with the chometz. Okay, so those are five questions. Okay. So in Yiddishkeit, we have two kinds of questions. We're leaving that now. This is a separate thing. We've got kashas and shilas. What's the difference in a kasha and a shaila? So a kasha is basically a stira. Rashi says this, Tosfos says this. Beis Shammai says this, Beis Hillel says that. It's a stira, that's a kasha. A shaila is a completely different thing. A shaila is a chesaron, a lacking of some kind of knowledge, some kind of, which is basically when you're lacking some kind of knowledge, that's called a suffix. Yeah, when there's some kind of doubt. So a shaila could be like, I don't know the halacha, but my wife cut an onion with a meaty knife on a milky chopping board. Yeah, what do I do? So I'm in Suffolk. I don't know I just don't know what the halacha is, number one. Or it could be the other way. It could be, well, your wife comes and brings you the onion. I didn't know why I mentioned my wife. It could be just me. That your wife brings you the onion and she's like, I don't remember if I used the meaty knife or the milky knife to cut this, and I want to make it now. I want to put it in the chulun. Again, you're lacking information. That's a shaila. Okay. So, what do young kids ask? Shailas or kashas?
Shailas.
No. Try again. So
don't kids lack knowledge? They don't understand. They don't know. So there is a chisaron.
But what they're doing, for example, they'll say to you something like, Tati, why is your car only got 2 seats? Yeah. Why? Because the other car they saw has got 4 seats. They're coming from, the reason why they don't have shilas is because they're not shaykh to halacha. So when they're not shilas really only exist when there's halacha or law, some kind of some kind of secular law or something like that. But that children are not shaykh to that. So their questions are kashas. they might not be telling you the contradiction, but the question comes from, like, why is the grass green? Because it could be that they had a other meaning that the grass could be blue like the sky. But it's coming from some kind of contradiction, whether it's hidden or however it is. But that's what young children ask. Young children ask kashas. Now, any people here have got little kids, or you remember what it was like having like 3-4-year-old kids, especially little boys, or 5-year-old boys? I got a 5-year-old boy. It's classic, yeah. They are. Well, let me ask you a question. What would happen if you turn around to your 5-year-old boy and you say to him, "Okay, I want you to jump up and down, spin around twice, run, touch the wall, and come back"? What would your 5-year-old kid do?
He'll do it.
Miad. What would your 12-year-old child do if you said that?
They'd ask why.
One of two options: either no or why. Probably why. There's a time in the child's life, it's around 8, 9, 10, depending on the kid, yeah? So 8, 9, 10, where the child's bina develops, the child's analytical mind develops. And now when you ask something of them, they need a reason. Reasons and bina are one and the same thing. Bina is all about reasons. Your bina, the bina of your mind, is very, very reasonable. Very reasonable. So now you ask your young child, this 5-year-old kid, spin around, he does it. You ask your 12-year-old kid, he doesn't do it, he wants a reason. But now let's ask another question. When a kid's asking a kasha, yeah, a kid's asking you, you're sitting with your 5-year-old kid, and it's question after question after question, incessant questions. And you can say to him, don't know, not sure. He'll just go to the next one. Doesn't bother him. Now sit that same child next to like grandpa who he's not friendly with, or some other person. Now how many questions are coming out? 0. There's no flow. There's no, like when he's with you, it's question after question after question. Yeah, when he's with someone he doesn't like or doesn't know, there's no questions. Because the questions for a young child, just like he doesn't need a reason to do something, the questions that he's asking, it's only secondary to find out the answer to the question. Really what the child is trying to do is to get close to you. This is amazing, amazing idea. The children's question, so this is just a very practical, if you're going to take one thing away from this, yeah, very practical, is when your 5-year-old kid is annoying the hell out of you, question after question after question after question, yeah, remember that this is your child trying to get close to you. Do not push that away. Cash in, interact, speak as much as you can, help him with more questions, etc. If there's one thing we're going to walk away with, that's the practical application of what we're saying. So really it's your child's desire to come close to you that's causing him to ask the questions. Because when he doesn't have a desire to get close to so-and-so, he doesn't ask any questions. So let's put that to the side for a minute. We'll get back to that shortly. The reasons for mitzvahs. We've been learning long enough now to know that there aren't reasons for mitzvahs. You've never heard, has anybody here ever heard the idea of sibus ha-mitzvah? You've ever heard that phrase? You've heard tamei mitzvah lots of times. We talk about the tamei mitzvahs. You've got a sefer called tamei, or tamei minhagim, but you've got the tamei mitzvahs you've got in the sefer chinuch. It speaks about tamei mitzvahs over and over and over and over again. But we never talk about the sibus mitzvah. See, tam is not like a siba. A siba means a reason. A tam is like a taste. So what's the reason for mitzvahs? Well, like we just said, reason is based in Bina. The mitzvahs don't come from Bina. The mitzvahs come from higher than Bina. The mitzvahs come from the essence of the Avodah Sholem. So we attach reasons to the mitzvahs. But the mitzvahs are much too heilig for reason. They're beyond reason. Reason is to do with the analytical, logical mind. Mitzvahs are, like we said many times in the past, yeah? Why do you want to live? There's no reason why you want to live. We attach reasons. You want to live. Now we attach all these kinds of reasons, which we really call tamim. They're not reasons. The reason why you want to live is because life wants to live. Finished. Everybody wants to live. I was in India just now, yeah? And I saw people living. You think the guys in LA have it hard? Yeah. Believe me, they're living a party compared to the guys in India on the streets. Yeah, mamish. That's what I've noticed. The poor people in LA, most of them have got at least like a tent or something like this, yeah? The poor people in India don't have a bag. They literally just sleep on the floor with the dogs and the rats. Mamish. I got pictures of it. Mamish. But they still want to live. They still want to live. If you were to hand them a gun and say, look, just end it, they won't do that because life wants to live. So there's no reason to life, Bichlal. There's no reason we want to live. We attach tamim, tastes, like, what a better way of translating that? Not tastes, flavors. I don't know a good translation for that, but you realize that the tam of a mitzvah is a much less kind of definitive thing than saying the siba of a mitzvah. Much less definitive. It's much more. So we attach tamim to the reasons. So adults need reasons for stuff, just like we said. Your 12-year-old kid, who for all intents and purposes is an adult, needs a reason to spin around and jump up and down. Your 5-year-old child doesn't. Why? Because the bina of your 12-year-old child has developed, is beginning to properly develop. And now when they hear you say, I want to jump up and down, their analytical mind kicks in and starts asking why. What's the point of that? Give me a reason. The young child, on the other side, doesn't have that functioning analytical mind. So he's just like, well, why not? Let's do it. Spins around, jumps up and down. It's a good idea. That answers up why your children, I remember one time, like rolly blinds you have, just about, and at the bottom of the rolly blind, it has like a heavy kind of weight, that like a thin weight that goes at the bottom to hold it flat. You know what I'm talking about? So an adult would never, ever remove that, ever. What's the point? You might pull it out a little bit to look at it and put it back, yeah? But I remember coming downstairs one time and my child had like basically extracted the entire thing, just about to pull the whole thing out. And I look at him, and it's the same when a kid does anything crazy. And you say to him, why are you doing that? And see, in Israel where there's chutzpah, yeah, they might say to you, kacha. In more like in America, or where the kids are a little more refined, they'll just look at you blank. They just won't say anything. You'd be like, why are you scratching a hole in my wall with your like toy screwdriver? And they'll just look at you. Why? Because there's no reason. There is no reason. That's an amazing thing to know. It's an amazing thing to know. So adults ask questions. Questions and reason are like the two sides of the same coin. So like you have a kasha, yeah? You want to know, you want to know, it doesn't make sense to you. what's going on with, I don't know, what Israel's doing with Iran or something like that. And I suppose that's different because that has a ramification. But just to know something's stum, yeah. If somebody asks you a question like why, why in China do they have slitty eyes, yeah, or why, why are they yellow, like in the Gemara, the guy asks Hillel and Shammai. That's you can understand. You say to the guy, why do you want to know why Chinese people have thin eyes? And he'll just be like, well, I just want to know. I want to know for the sake of knowledge. But that's a reason. To know for the sake of knowledge, that's a reason. So the concept of asking questions and reasons are completely bound up with each other. And the questioning of adults is always for a reason. Why do you want to know? Well, I want to know. That's the reason why you're asking the question. It's not like the kid, when the kid says to you, Abba, why have you got 2 seats in your car? He doesn't really care. And if you just say to him, I'm not sure, he'll go on to the next question. Why is your car pink? He'll go on to the next question. Whereas you, when you say why you got 2 seats in your car, you actually want to know. That's the reason. You with me? It's a fundamental difference between children and adults, that children are not motivated by reason. Adults are motivated by reason. And that's really driven all of humanity. All of humanity is being driven by the thirst for knowledge. How do I do this? How do I do that? How does this work? How does that work? And that's moved our society forward as a species, as yeah. So this is Mah Nishtanah. Mah Nishtanah is the 2 biggest kashas of Mah Nishtanah is, number 1, we don't really answer the questions. One of the questions we don't answer bichlal, and the other 3, it's like the kid who asked the question's probably asleep by the time you get to the answer, yeah? And number 2, the minhag, it says in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, the minhag is the youngest child asks the question. So you've got a double thing. The kid doesn't care about the answer. He just gets a Mah Nishtanah, he doesn't care about the answer. What's the raya? You don't really answer him. So we think in our gaiva that the kid gets up, he asks the questions, and we're there as the reasonable adult to start giving him the answers. But the whole avodah of Mah Nishtanah is to learn from the child what asking questions really is about in Yiddishkeit. We're there to learn from him. Questions get you closer to the one you're asking from. A question is humility. Question is you're moide to the other one. You say, you know and I don't. That brings me closer to you. That's mevata myself to you. So we're watching the child and we realize this is the beginning of the Seder. This is the genesis of Yiddishkeit. This is mamash the beginning of Yiddishkeit. It's the foundation mamash of Yiddishkeit, that our pursuit of knowledge in Yiddishkeit is not for the pursuit of knowledge. It's because our soul wants to come close to the Ribono Shel Olam. The essence, it goes beyond Bina. It goes beyond our logical mind. It's the soul wants to be miskayev to Ribono Shel Olam. So why are we doing mitzvahs? It's kind of funny. We're doing mitzvahs for the same reason, Havdil, that the kid is scratching a hole in your dining room wall with his plastic screwdriver. That's why we're doing mitzvahs. Why is the kid doing that? Because that's what his soul is telling him to do for no reason. The same reason that's the reason why we're Oved Hashem, is because we're Jewish. It's like the story I've told you before, that this guy came to Rav Manis and he said to him, Rav Manis, give me a reason why I should keep kosher, and I'll keep kosher. I told you a story? Yeah. So give me a reason why I should keep kosher, I'll keep kosher. And Rav Manis looked at him and said, because you're Jewish. And he started keeping kosher. That's really the reason why we keep kosher. Because we're Jewish. And a Jew keeps kosher. Why do you clean for chometz? Because you're Jewish. And a Jew cares about Pesach. That's it. It's so simple. So Mah Nishtanah is really the message of all of Yiddishkeit. Is we're not involved in it for the pursuit of knowledge, even though the pursuit of knowledge is a great pleasure. Our pursuit of knowledge is because our soul longs to come close to the Boy Shalom. For what reason? That's what a neshama is. A neshama is just like a metal filing trying to be miscarried back to the magnet. Or like a small flame. You ever hold a small flame next to a big fire? You see the small flame starts to like move towards the fire. That's what your neshama is. It just wants to get to the boy neshama. So all the questions, that's exactly Mah Nishtanah. Mah Nishtanah is the message of all of Yiddishkeit. It's not about Bina. The questions are a means to an end. The end is the questions in the sense of the Tam. The real thing that's going on is your neshama wants to come and merge with the Rabboni Shalom. So now we can answer up all these questions, okay? So what's with the Mah Nishtanah? Like I said, that is the message of Yiddishkeit. That's why Yiddishkeit begins on Pesach Nacht. So Yiddishkeit begins on Pesach, and it begins with the Mah Nishtanah. So the central message of everything is not that we're there to answer the children, we're there to learn from the children. We're passionate that you're meant to look at the child with tears in your eyes and think, wow, this is what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to just get to this pure, just access this pure part of me that just wants to go back. That just wants to be over, just wants to be miskarev. And we're so far from that. But this is the avodah. And now why do we break the middle matzah? Because the Arizal says that the middle matzah is keneged bina. Chochma bina das. So we break the middle matzah. Pesach is about going beyond bina, beyond your logical mind, to emunah. Emunah is the shoresh of your neshama. Like we said many times, emunah is not a trait that you acquire. Emunah is the word we use to refer to the neshama of the neshama. The shoresh of your oineg, that what you call your emunah, it's not really your emunah, it's you. That is where you and the Rabboni Shalom are mamash one with each other. That's why it's called bread of emunah, matzah. So why does a kid learn in a cheder? And why does an adult learn in a base of medrash, in a bias? What's in the panemius of a house? The inner aspect of the house is the cheder, is the inner chamber. Young kids who don't have bina, they're in a cheder because they're in the very panemius of the house. We go to the base medrash and we're striving to get into the cheder, into the panemius of the house, but the child's already there. And then why is it that the world stands on the what's the Marazal? What does it mean that the world is miskayim on the hevel? Why doesn't it say the Torah? Why does it say the breath of the children? Why doesn't it say the divrei Torah of the kids? It says the breath of the kids. Because the words of the Torah, they take the breath and they form it and mold it and shape it into ideas and concepts. But what's the panemius? The panemius of your speech is your breath, is the air. That's what the kids are about. That's the panemius again. And so finally, why do we burn the lulav with the chometz? The lulav is lamed vav lamed vav lamed base. Loy leiv. To him is the leiv. The lulav is a straight. It's like a kuma. It's like it kind of represents gaiva in a sense. It's the gaiva of the mitzvah. Yeah, you stand up straight. Yeah, you're meant to be with kuma zakuf, like bent over a little bit. Yeah, that's the halacha. So why do we burn it? Because it's reminding us of this whole inyan of going up in madregas of lishma. Loy leiv. Where I was last year, we're beginning again this year. It's not that I want to stop doing Averas. We should be beyond that, Bezrat Hashem. It's that I want to access this level. I want to access this level of doing mitzvahs, the ultimate level of doing mitzvahs, which is lishma. What's the ultimate level of lishma? There's a lot of levels of lishma, but the ultimate level of lishma is in the concept of why is it called lishma and not lishmoi? Why is it feminine? For her sake, not for his sake. What are we talking about? You're doing it for the Rabbeinu Shalom, yeah? It should be called lishmoi. Why lishma? So there's a lot of answers to this question, but this represents the ultimate level of lishma. Is lishma, the mitzvah is feminine. Mitzvah is feminine. Mitzvah gedola, it's feminine, yeah? So you're doing it for the lishma, for the sake of the mitzvah, meaning just like the Rabbeinu Shalom wants the mitzvah for no reason. It's just who he is. That's the ultimate level of lishma. Having surpassed all mitzvahs. Just like the kid who's scratching the hole in your wall or pulling out that heavy bit from the blind. Lahavdil. Just like when I was this morning, what I was doing, I was cleaning behind my oven. I'm just thinking like this isn't for me. I'm not doing, but when you, the real tzaddik, he's doing the mitzvah for the same reason that the Rabbeinu Shalom would be doing the mitzvah. That's the ultimate level of lishma. And that's the inyan of loy leiv, of lulav. To him is the heart. Where I was last year, I'm going to incinerate that because the whole avoid of Yiddishkeit. I asked Yitzi once. Yitzi said it's so passionate. You remember when you're in Yerushalayim with me, and you said look, the whole purpose of Yiddishkeit is getting to Lishma. You know what a chiddush that is for a Yid to say that? It was such a sweet thing to hear because that really is our whole avodah. It's not about learning the entire Gemara. It's not about tikkun amidas. It's about serving Hashem Lishma. That's what the avodah is. Now you need tikkun amidas and you need the Torah and you need the mitzvahs. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to Lishma. But that's what the whole avodah is. That's why Bein Adam L'Chaveiro is so intrinsic to our avodah, because you learn how to put Hashem before you by putting before you other people. That's a kal v'chomer. And to finish off, we finished off. That was it. That's what we're striving for, and that's the message of the Seder, and that's the message of all of Yiddishkeit. So, B'ezrat Hashem, when we see our children or we see the young kid asking the Mah Nishtanah, yeah, we should try and connect to that, and that innocence of the childish question of it's just an expression of my soul. The child's just expressing himself. And that's what Pesach is. B'ezrat Hashem, should be zocher. Shem Freidich and Chag. Okay, I'm also going to give, whether you can make it, I'm going to give share tomorrow, same time on the Parsha, just because I don't know if you've realized that I'm on this thing to go through the entire Torah. So if you can make it, I'll send out a WhatsApp, and if you can't, I won't be offended in any way. Okay.
Bye.
Chevre, I forgot to add. That was the bit that at the end I said I finished, but I forgot to add. That's the whole pshat or not pshat, but that's what it means at in the beginning of Yedid Nefesh, where it said Yerevloi Yedid Oisech Menofet Sufa Chol Toam, that we should be Yeravloi Yedid Oisecha, that your Yedidus should be sweeter to us. Menofet Sufa Chol Toam means from any sweet taste, from any sweet like honeycomb, and from every taste, for whole time. And that's exactly the message. That was a very important point that I missed out. I'm sorry. I'll maybe include that in the recording. That your yedidus, your closeness, our love to you should be closer, should be what it's about. And it should be more precious to us than any time. So I don't usually do this, but I wrote, it's not really a poem, but it's a very emotional translation of these few words. Please Hashem, sweeten our appreciation for our eternal and intimate bond with you. Make it so overwhelmingly intense that our attraction to the pleasures of this world simply dissipates and dissolves in its resplendent presence. Make it so precious to us that we merit to serve you with a true and pure service, a service that flows from the sacred essence of our soul and not from any finite and limited reason that we invented with our human mind. In other words, please Hashem, in the unearned schus of being part of your holy nation, please grant us the infinite privilege of serving you lishma. Amen. Ken you at Zion. Be'ezus Hashem. Have a good Freilich and Pesach. B'ezrat Hashem. Kol tov.